are telling me is over with, by the way.
Hold on, start again. You're driving the truck, right?
Oh, was I breaking up?
No, I forgot I was gonna record it on my end, and now I'm recording.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, we can just start over if you want. I don't
Yeah,
care.
you're good. Just in case I want to bring some clips over to YouTube or something. But so you're driving the
Just
truck.
yeah, I made my delivery this morning, and which that means that I go somewhere else to get the trailer loaded, right? So I roll into some place that I've never been in, Kansas City, Kansas, and these people at this warehouse, there was nobody in there wearing a mask, not one person. And I don't mean like they had it pulled down, like there was not a sign of a mask anywhere. And they told me, actually, they didn't say anything. That when I tried to go check in at the window, the guy looked at me like I was a piece of garbage, and then made a motion with his hand. He covered his face with his hand,
Meaning, like, put
which
on a mask or what?
I think so, but I'm at least 25% autistic, number one, and I'm just a dick anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't respond, especially with somebody I've never met before. I don't respond to fucking gestures, right? Like, so I've
Right.
just ignored it and was like, hey, what's going on? And then he's like, hey, you got to wear a mask. I was like, y'all aren't wearing a mask. There was two people in the little office there, right? I said, you don't have a mask. They said, well, we're in the office. We don't have to. I said, well, if you're not going to wear them, I'm not going to wear it. And they were just like, the guy was just kind of shrugged at me. And I said, if you think I'm going to be the only person in here with his face covered, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And they kept trying to put it back on me, like, you got to do this or what's going on. I just said, so when people do put me in that situation where it's like they try to put the spotlight on me, I just put it back on them. I said, do you want this freight picked up? Like basically like, hey, I'm here so that your product can go in my trailer and I can drive it to wherever you want it driven to, right? So I'm like, hey, you guys want your freight picked up or what? Like, what's going on here? And they were just like, you have to wear a mask. I said, it's not going to happen. And went back out to my truck and called my company and told them what was going on. It's very demoralizing, man. Very demoralizing.
So they didn't give you the load?
No, but I live in the truck, man. I don't give a fuck. I'm in the truck. No matter. I mean, I drive the truck. I don't drive the truck. I'm in the truck, man. It doesn't really matter to me whether, I can't really get in trouble. I just won't make any money today. But I live in a truck. I don't really need to make money today. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. What?
I think that they thought they could just boss me around.
But they're not wearing it. If they're not wearing
and no
it,
signs.
then why the fuck do they want you to wear it?
No signs that said, you must wear a mask.
This shit's over,
couple of
man.
People. Is it though?
They're acting like it is. They're telling you
it ain't over, brother. No,
I
this
agree.
is just this, in my opinion, is to just make it more painful. It's like whiplash, you get in a car wreck and you go forward and then you go backwards. So we're going in the opposite direction so that when we get yanked back, it's going to be so much more violent than it would be otherwise. That's what's going on. This is the part where we're moving in the other direction before we get snapped back. That's what's happening right now.
And then they're going to blame the anti-mask people, or the unvaccinated people, I should say.
Well, and since I'm angry right now, I'm looking forward to the day when somebody attempts to confront me and I'm not on the job and I'm just living my life and somebody attempts to insert themselves into my life. I'm looking forward to it. It hasn't happened. I can't wait for that moment.
You think it will, or do you think it'll just be a slow erosion of your, like, you won't be able to buy food, you won't be able to even order Amazon Prime or anything unless you have this medicine or whatever? Or do you think they'll actually get to the point where they send squads to your house or something?
Well, I don't have a house. Where are they going to come to the tent?
Yeah. But if
I
they
mean,
do, hey, if they do that, you win.
Oh, I forgot. I'm a winner.
Yeah.
Win- Winner, winner, hamburger dinner.
Uh,
Anyway, I apologize if I'm not making a lot of sense. I'm just mad,
no, you're good at my job now.
very
What it
angry.
is, um, if you have had both doses at least 14 days ago, you can take off the mask. And supposedly they make you like sign this sheet that says that, and it says on the sheet like, I don't know what it says because I haven't seen the sheet yet, but it's supposedly it says something like, if they find out you're lying, it's considered falsifying documents and you will be fired or something like that. But I haven't been wearing the mask, and no one said, they've said a couple times to me like, oh, you need to sign a waiver or whatever, and I was like, okay. And then no one's brought me the paperwork to read. So I'm just going to keep not wearing it, and I'm going to put the ball in their court and make them call me out on it every time. But I'm not signing that paperwork either.
Well, good. I'm glad that somebody's having a little better time than I am.
And I always talk about my buddy, my buddy at work that's kind of just getting into the conspiracies, and he's got, he's like on the Twitter level conspiracies. He's been so adamant against this the entire time, and he's emailed the CEO himself of the company, emails him and sends him Bill Gates TED Talk where he says he wants to depopulate shit, and he's
God.
emailing the CEO this shit with timestamps and shit like that. I'm like, bro, you don't be talking about this shit at work. And yeah, and then he went and asked another manager, he's like, haven't you ever heard of the Rothschilds? And the dude said no, so he brought him in a book about the Rothschild family. Like the dude's ever gonna read it. But then now this dude is like scared to unmask because he shot himself in the foot, you know what I mean? He can't claim that he already had the medicine. And if he unmasks, then he's identifying as a vaxxer. So every time I see him the last couple days, I'm like, take that shit off your face, bro. Take that shit off your face. And he won't do it. He's like, they'll find out. They'll fire you. I'm like, how the fuck are they going to find out, dude? What are they going to do? Subpoena your fucking medical records? I'll just say I lost the fucking card. When they say, hey, call your doctor or something, just say, hey, I was in some fucking drive-up clinic when I was in Miami. I don't even remember what the fuck it was called.
What a nightmare.
Unless, do you think all this shit has went into some centralized database that they'll tell you about eventually? I mean, are they asking for social security numbers at this place? I doubt it.
Man, I don't even know.
So, I don't know, but that's basically what I talk about on these conspiracies. It's designed to, like, get these people to shoot themselves in the foot. And now this dude, if he had just shut the fuck up, now he could be working without a mask. And now he's got to keep the mask on because he raised too big of a stink about it. At the same time, I almost wonder, I actually asked him too, and I wonder if he's scared of the shedders now, because that's the new schizo conspiracy shit. Like, the vax shedders are going to spread the vax to me. So I asked him that, and he said, yeah, like he was kidding, but I don't know if he is kidding or not.
Well, I've come to a realization that, see, the people that are doing this, whatever this is that's behind all of this, that's not the problem. Your coworker is the problem, and I'm the problem because we think we have principles, but then we don't live by them. So now that's his punishment, is now he can't take the mask off, but it's based on he didn't live up to his principles. He should have just said day one, no, I'm not wearing a fucking mask, and if they fired him, they fired him.
That's the craziest part, is he was like the last one to wear the mask, and he's the only one that wears like the plastic visor thing they gave him. Somehow he got permission to wear that. And
yeah, but he chose to do that.
Yeah, but now that you can take it off, I thought you'd think he'd be the first one to take it off, and now he's not. But I think because of it would identify him as a vaxxer, and he doesn't want.
Oh, he's
so
on
anti-vax.
He's on double secret probation.
Yeah, like if you want to say I had it, so I can take that shit off, that's fine. You can say I had it. I'm
Well,
tired
and
of wearing that shit.
people like this that you're talking about, they can't play it cool. Like you're describing, some subterfuge, and he's not going to be able to do that. There's no way.
Yeah,
He's too outspoken.
do you think that's built baked right into the conspiracies though? Like, cause he's just getting into it, He's like a year, maybe he's like 2 years into it now.
Well, but see, I remember thinking, oh, people just don't know about these conspiracies, and if we go and tell them all, then it'll all get fixed. And at some point in the future, hopefully he's going to come to realize, oh, it's not because of lack of knowledge that all this is happening. That's not the reason.
Yeah, he's still at that phase where he thinks he can tell everyone. Like he was calling out our general manager the other day about, he was telling him, he's like, oh, these guys must not know how these PCR tests work and shit like that. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up about that shit at work. It's like some meme,
well, that's better
Twitter
for you
meme.
though.
Yeah, because I don't talk about it.
Exactly. So now, if anybody thinks that you might be into that stuff, they're not going to think nothing of you because of this fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he's
going to take all the heat off of you.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because I'm done with it, but I think it's going to the point where then Biden will just say, or whoever, they'll just say, well, there was too many people that didn't have the vax that were walking around without a mask, so now we got to lock you down again and bring out the vaccine passport. It seems pretty obvious. I mean, maybe they never seem to do what's obvious, but that's what it seems like the play is right now to me.
Well, I think it's definitely a push for the passport, and that's all these news articles the last couple of weeks. It's all talking about the honor system, which we know is a joke because, like, our society cannot operate on the honor system.
Yeah, there is no honor,
ludicrous.
Especially in the United States. There's no honor.
Yeah, there's no like, oh, I'm just gonna say I've been medicated, and everybody's just gonna believe me.
Right.
No, that doesn't exist.
But that's what they're going with.
Yeah, but then I'm kind of annoyed with the you can't handle the truthers, who they just think it's all over with now and that they're not going to get fucked with anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty naive. That's pretty naive to think that. I mean, I hope that, obviously, but these are psychos. These are tyrants. They're not. They had you right where they wanted you. Why would they release the chain a little bit unless they were planning to yank you back? I
just don't see any other way. But I have mentioned before that, the enemy is unpredictable. So it seems like when we think we know what's going to happen, it seems like it doesn't happen. So yeah. I'd love to be wrong but I've said it before. Why can't I just live? And who wants to live in a truck and look, I'm treated like garbage anyway. Just pandemic or no pandemic, we're already treated like shit much of the time. I'm already out here eating shit. I've had all I can stands. I can't stands no more. Like something's got to give, man. But then I don't think like, oh, these people are assholes. I just think of, oh, I had to go pick up a load in Louisiana 3 weeks ago, and I went in the office and they had their masks on and they were rude to me and they made me wear a mask, but I did it to keep the peace, right? So now I'm thinking, oh, I'm like your coworker. I'm not living up to my principles. So what do I have at the end of the day? If I don't have my principles, what good am I? That's how I'm looking at it.
I think part of.
But am I just going?
It's possible.
But am I going to go back to live? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, here's my choice. I'm going to go back to living in a tent and drinking all day, or be a good little slave and just do whatever people tell me.
Yeah.
And I've never been to these places, most of them. Some person that I don't know their name, I don't know their job function, I don't even know who they work for some of the time. They just accost me and start bossing me around. I'm talking about before the pandemic. I'm already don't like that shit, right? And now I'm going into some place, and you work for a corporation, you know, like if you actually read your corporate handbook, you know, a truck driver that comes to pick up freight at a distribution center that doesn't work for your company, that's a partner. That's we refer to that as a partner, right? Are you familiar with this?
I don't deal with any of that, but
Okay, well, I'm telling you, any major corporation in this whole country, somewhere in the handbook, it says this is how we treat our partners, and it has like we treat them with
oh yeah,
respect,
okay. We do have something
all of
like
that
that.
bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So uh I'm already like in a job where I'm going to these big corporations, and supposedly I'm going to get treated decently. I mean, I guess that's where I'm coming from. Instead of getting treated like a subhuman piece of garbage. But like, how much is enough? You know, like when is enough enough?
It seems like they're trying to create that, the second class citizen if you didn't get the medicine or anything. That's what I
Yeah,
was thinking about at mine. If
yeah.
I like were to sign that paper to say I had it, what if later down the line they like flip the script and it's like, okay, now vaccinated people because of whatever, now we need to, like, you can't handle food or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Maybe there'll be some thing down the line they want to know you're vax to take rights away from you. However, I doubt that, but that's why I just don't even want to sign the paper at all because
Yeah, if I was you, I wouldn't sign it.
I'm not signing shit and I'm not wearing shit. If somebody can just walk in the door and not have to give any proof, then why the fuck would an employee have to give proof?
Well, but none of this shit makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
none of it.
But I can't believe. I'm still in disbelief that another human being. I walked into a building, and I have to. It says, go to the window to check in. A glass, a sliding glass window. There's a guy sitting there in a desk doing nothing, by the way, just sitting there. Uh, and he doesn't have a mask on. And then there's a woman in the office with him, also no mask, and they want me to cover my face.
How long are you in there?
I can't.
Just long enough to pick up the trailer, or like fill out some paperwork?
I usually just go in. They're like, "Hey, what's your pickup number?" I give them the pickup number, and then they're like, "Okay, go to door 22." And then they load the trailer, and then when I'm done, I either have to go back in and get the bill of lading, or they bring it out to me. That's it. That's the whole process.
So they wouldn't
Now,
even
every
do that
once
for you?
that these people we were not going further in this interaction until I put a mask on. Period. Nothing was going to happen.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
But I was already in the building. The guy opened, he opened the little. So we're sharing the same oxygen.
Right.
You know me, I'm a loudmouth anyway. So hypothetically, if I was a danger to them, I've already spread it all about the place.
Yeah, you already
So
contaminated it.
I've contaminated it. Why do they? Okay, why are they letting me in there to contaminate everything? If they're not. See, this has nothing to do with being scared. I'm a slave, and in that situation, they get to crack the whip on me. From their perspective,
I agree. That's what the whole thing's based on. The whole thing is based on these people that love to secretly tell people what to do. All those
and people
those cart Nazis, every store you go to, those like old ladies that are the cart Nazis, they love it.
Yeah, and before COVID, if somebody tries to tell me what to do, I just tell them to fuck off. I'm like, hey, fuck off. I'm not doing what you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm already a person that I don't like being told what to do. Like, it bothers me already. And now people who normally wouldn't be bold enough to just try to tell me what to do, they feel like they get to tell me what to do.
Yeah, that's what the whole thing is based on, in my opinion.
which I think goes back to communism. Under communism,
So
I have to do the
self-policing.
monkey dance of the day. Well, and I have to do the monkey dance, or other people get to inform on me or punish me. I'm being punished in some way. Now I can say, oh, I don't need the money, but it'd be better to have it than not have it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm being and it makes me look bad to my company, right? And some poor lady at my company got an earful because when I'm that mad, I don't know how to communicate properly when I'm that angry. So now I'm going off on her. She had nothing to do with it.
Do you think part of this could be maybe they're trying to like roll it all back to make Biden look good before they pull Biden out?
But nothing's rolling back. What's rolling back?
Well,
I don't
the
see
mask.
anything rolling back.
You're able to shop without the mask here, even
I,
where I'm at least, because that's pretty big. Even though the state still supposedly has these orders, like every store now, the cashiers aren't even wearing them. At every store I've been to. But I'm saying
it's been that way the whole. It's been that way the whole time. Just depends on where you are.
Where I am, they've all worn the mask everywhere, and now it's like the workers aren't even wearing masks. But that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's just to hype up Biden, pump his stock up, and then they can remove him from the scene. And then
well, like I've talked about, it's never just one thing. So yeah, that's part of it. I think that's part of it. I think another part of it is this idea that people need to go get vaccinated, and we need to offer them something. Oh, okay, if you get vaccinated, you can go without a mask. But I shouldn't even say lefty or but people we think of as being liberal or left wing, they're so neurotic. At this point, they want to wear a mask. Most of them.
Yeah, I saw that article you posted yesterday or whatever. The guy said he's going to wear full goggles, N95, and a mask over the N95 for 5 more years.
Now, I think half of that stuff's just made up, but there are people like that.
Yeah, exactly. There's somebody out there like that.
And this idea that, in one situation, if I let's just say I did wear a mask, because like I say, I've done it a couple of times on the job just to keep the peace, but I'm not doing it in stores anymore. They either get my money or they don't, but I'm just not doing it at all. But, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know either.
Damn it. See, this is what happens when I get pissed off. But, like I say, man, I'm already, in the best of times, I'm already like working really hard to keep my shit together. And then I could never, in my wildest dreams, I would never foresee going into a place and nobody has a mask on, and they
tell you to put a fucking mask on.
They ordered me to put a mask on. Yeah. And basically told me to get the fuck out of there, when just more or less, hey, hit the road, Jack.
Because you wouldn't wear a mask for like 2 minutes.
But I would. Here's the thing is, when I said, you don't have masks on, if they had then put masks on, I wouldn't have wanted to. I would have went to my fucking truck, and I would have got my bandana, and I would have put the motherfucker on. But I will not be the only one in there with a fucking face covering on, and I will not put one on outside. If I'm indoors and they got them on, and that's just how it is, I'll give them an earful. I'll talk shit about it, but I'll do it. Okay? I'm not, see what I'm saying? It's just like again, it's my fault. I've already compromised my principles, so why shouldn't I compromise my principles further? Why shouldn't I just stand there in a warehouse in front of a bunch of strangers, and they've all got their faces showing, and why shouldn't I be the only one in there with his face covered? Maybe I should just start wearing a burqa, a full fucking burqa.
Fucking dunce cap.
Yeah, yes. That's Can I get the hat with the spinner on it? Can I get the spinner hat? Yeah.
Ah,
And then we'll put a sign on. We'll tape a sign to my pants that says "kick me," and they'll just kick me as I walk through the warehouse, and I'll spin my dunce cap, and I'll drool on myself a little bit.
well, that's where it's gonna go with that vaccine passport. What if it's like contact tracing app built right into it, and then a little alert will come up on their phone, and it'll be like unvaccinated person in the vicinity, and they'll see you, and they'll have to like cross the street or something, because they'll be like, oh no,
Oh, I'm a hermit.
here
I would
comes a
love that. Yeah,
dangerous
get the fuck
fucking
away.
anti-vaxxer.
Oh yeah, get away. I'm already social distancing. I don't want to be near these people. Do you think I want to talk to those people?
They already came out and said like it's gonna be up to the corporations, right?
Yeah, they said that in December. The Fed said that you know what? Basically, your employer or anybody's employer can require it. And then it said, if they can't make an accommodation for you, such as working from home, they can tell you to get the fuck out of there. Hit the road, Jack.
Damn.
Don't you come back till you get vaxxed.
That's what I was thinking about the situation at my work is like, if you don't have it and you're unwilling to sign that thing, let's say you have a religious exemption, how is that not discrimination? That everyone else can take off the mask and the people could come in and shop without a mask, but you can't, you're forced to wear one? That's some discrimination type shit.
Yes. And I agree with you. And for me personally, uh, it's not so much the submitting to tyranny and the violation of my principles, because that's me going along with things that I shouldn't go along with. It's inconsistent. When I go into a given situation, I don't know what's about to be expected of me. I have no idea. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's very unnerving, you know, for somebody like with my personality. It's very unnerving. I don't know. I need to know what's expected of me. I do better in a structured environment.
Yeah,
So
same.
if I go into some business and they're like, "Hey, you got to wear a mask," and then I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Didn't you see the sign?" Dude, everywhere's got the sign. And then half the places, they just let you wander in and don't say anything to you. So the sign doesn't mean anything at this point.
No.
Meaningless.
That's why I don't get about the Trump people, that they think Trump had, sorry, they think Trump had nothing to do with the mask, but he could have just came out from the very beginning and said, hey, this is what the situation is. Either you do or you don't. Whatever he said, he could have just addressed it and said, this is the
Yeah.
standard across the board. And that never
Well,
happened because they do want that gray area and the confusion out there.
and he can't do any wrong, you know. Oh, everything's fake, but Trump's real.
Yeah, he even
What?
he even said
What?
on some recent article, "I am the daddy of the vaccine." I'm the father of the vaccine. That's
What?
what he said.
Yeah, he's pro-vax.
He's the father. He literally wants to be called the father. He's the godfather of the vaccine.
Yeah.
And
But when he comes out,
when he ran, though, remember they were trying to say like, "Oh, Barron Trump was like fucked up from vaccines, so Trump's anti-vax." I specifically remember that narrative when he was running.
me too.
And
Yeah.
now, yeah, he's
Well,
the
and if
guy
you
that warp speeded him out.
Well, even at that January the 6th fracas or whatever that was, when he spoke to that crowd, there were people holding up anti-vaccine signs in the crowd. Like they think he's anti-vax. And then he did Operation Warp Speed and rolled the whole thing out.
Isn't that bizarre? And these people have at least looked into shit a little bit, you'd think.
And then he came out and said, he actually came out after I think he was not president anymore, and he recommended that people get it. Oh, but he's just playing 5D chess, I guess. So anything he says, it's just proof that he loves us and he's legitimate and he's going to save everything.
Yeah. They're still, I'm still reading these threads. I go on that GOP all the time.
Oh, no.
And they're still saying, like, oh, you know, arrests coming soon and all this type of shit. Like, dude, get the fuck over it. But there has been on those threads, there has been very slowly, I'm watching them be like, hey, do you guys think maybe Trump was a plant? Hello? Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, so the QAnon stuff still going?
I think it's dwindling down, but there are still a few people that believe that type of shit.
God dang, man.
Yeah, it's a wrap, man. Biden's in. Maybe Kamala.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with that. It'd be interesting if he just served out his whole term. Because I figured he'd be, I don't know, I just figured it would be Kamala at some point.
Yeah, that's what everyone thought, and like you said, though, they're unpredictable. Anything people are
exactly.
predicting.
Yeah, whenever I think that I know what's going on. Yeah, sorry. Whenever I think I know what's going to go on, what's going to happen, it doesn't seem to happen.
Yeah, it's a fucked up game, man. I don't know what the play is next, though. It can't be good. All I can think, maybe I'm a doomer, but all I can think is the easing of the restrictions can't be good.
Yeah, and my thing is, I don't even see an easing of the restrictions so much as people have a perception of just, oh, it's over with now. But then I go to Walmart and at least half the people have on masks, and I live in an area where some people have just never worn them.
At least where I'm at, the people were like extremely tired of it. I could tell. Even the people that were all about it at the beginning, like at my work, they were even wearing it below their nose, and then eventually it became like the chin diaper. And these were the people that were even deep into it. 6-8 months into it, they were like, "Hey, keep your mask on." Even at the end there, those people I think are over it. They wouldn't speak up against it, I don't think. But I think collectively everyone just kind of is sick of being the mask police and everything like that.
Well, not these people I dealt with today. They love it.
It's sick. I couldn't imagine having that kind of a mindset that's like, oh, I can't wait to yell at somebody for not covering their face.
Well, and they don't have their face covered.
Yeah, that's the worst part of it. They don't even know. They're just like a bot. They're just running a script at that point. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, look, I should be, but the thing is, man, I can only evolve so much. Like there's certain things I'm just never going to be able to get over. Like intellectually, I can understand, what's going on, but I'm still a human being. Like this shit is just not right, man. It's just not right, and it's my fault. Like I say, it's my fault for letting myself get pushed around. And then the more I get pushed around, I'm just pushed around even more.
But I feel like right now is the time, and that's why I was telling my boy at work, I'm like, dude, you gotta unmask right now, because right now they've relented a little bit where they took like 5 steps forward, you know what I mean? And now they're taking like 1 step back. Right now is the time when they're letting up. We gotta push them back even more, maybe push them back 2 more steps, because they took 5 steps in the beginning. They're still up by 2 steps, even if we can push back right now. But I feel like since they have relented, this is the fucking time you gotta go after them.
Well, but that's only because the people are unwilling to do what is necessary to solve all of this. I mean, ultimately, we all know what would solve this, and we're just not willing to do it. Is really what it comes down to.
What do you say? An armed?
Can't say it. Can't say it.
The 2A? Is it the 2A?
Literally can't say it.
The 2A, right?
Okay,
hobo code it.
This.
Hobo code it.
All right, I'm gonna hobo code it. Well, supposedly, if somebody commits treason, they can be put on trial, and then there's a certain punishment that can happen to them.
Yeah.
Are you following me?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is no trial. but straight to the punishment.
Yeah, right.
That would solve the whole thing.
I think that will never happen.
Oh, it's never gonna happen. And
No, I agree with
I
you
can't
though.
even talk about it, bro. I can't even talk. Literally can't talk about it.
That's what needs to happen. Like
So
that, the heads
if
on
I can't,
stakes.
if I can't speak it, how are people gonna do it? If I'm scared to say it.
Yeah.
But that's the only solution. I mean, other than that, it's just we're gonna have periods where we're not getting, we're not getting the whip's not getting cracked on us quite as much. That's this time, I think, is just we're not being abused as much as we've been abused previously, but we're still being abused, right? But man, what's going to happen once it turns cold again, and 80% of America is overweight and in poor health, and they start getting sick again? Well, I mean, what's going to happen? Right back to the mask, right back to the social distancing, the whole thing.
Yeah, it's the rest of our life probably. To be honest, if you want to be brutally honest, I don't see it going away.
It's never going away.
And it will just get worse and worse over the long period of time, 20, 40 years. 40 years, it'll probably be you'll just live in a mask.
Well, and look at these poor kids who are, going to school now. When are they going to let these kids go to school without a mask on? So it's just normal to them. Now it's just normal for a child. Oh, just what you do. You wear a mask.
Even these adults took to it, though, like that quickly. That's the craziest part
I agree.
to me.
Well, I agree, but it's still not. It's not fully normal, because they were already grown before they ever covered their face. I'm talking about these kids they're still in the form. They're still being formed.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're even going to understand.
No,
and especially they're not even going to understand why you wouldn't want to wear a mask. It's not even going to compute. Like, what do you mean? Why wouldn't you wear a mask?
Yeah, like you said, it's completely normal to them now. That's just that's just how it is. So they don't know any better. But
then the way I look at the vax is, like I was vaccinated when I was a baby, right? So we're giving kids, we're giving our babies shots. So why wouldn't the adults have to get shots if you think about it? It's like, oh, they shot me up with God knows what, when I was an infant, and I was born in 1975. So, who knows how many, there's got to be more by now, right? I'm pretty sure there's way more. Yeah. So whatever they shot me up with. But then, if I'd have been like everybody else and just had kids, when I was 22 or whatever, I didn't know anything about this information. My kids would have got vaccinated, So I guess it kind of makes sense, why is it okay to shoot the babies up with God knows what, but then, but it's not, but I get to say no, right? Like, I think from like a morality or a spiritual standpoint, it's like, why should I get to refuse it on a certain level? See what I mean?
Yeah, if the babies are getting in.
No, I don't mean the COVID. I just mean vaccines.
Yeah.
I just mean vaccines in general. Like, why? It seems to me like society has already accepted, okay, let's shoot this poison into an infant. So, I'm 45 and they shot me up with whatever they shot me up with, but then they didn't get another opportunity other than like a tetanus shot, right? But now there's a global pandemic, so now the system is taking its opportunity to shoot me up, But then it's like, well, if I live in a society where we think it's completely fine to shoot the babies up, why shouldn't I be shot up? I mean,
I see what
it's
you mean.
Logically consistent. Does that mean I don't advocate for this? I'm saying, like, why would I think that I wouldn't have to do it?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I mean, my kids got the shots because, like he said, I was like 22. I didn't know anything about the shit.
Yeah, and it was done to you also.
Yeah.
Presumably. I mean,
yeah, it was.
And if you've ever met anybody, there are people who just have grown up completely outside the system, and they've never had a fucking driver's license, they've never had a social security card, they weren't born in a hospital. I've met some of these people, and they're completely different, man. They're just totally different people.
Good or
There's
bad?
not a lot of them. Well, I guess that's up to the individual, but just don't
You
see
can just
things, I
tell that
guess, the
it's
way that.
different.
Yeah, man, just completely different thought process. Seem I couldn't say more healthy. I'm a healthy person, but just, healthy, strong, robust, think for themselves, and,
Mm.
don't watch TV, and, don't believe in, the school system and all this. Because, I can call myself a conspiracy theorist, and I can, have a podcast that's, part of the so-called truth community. I can talk on a live stream, but I'm part of the system. Like, I'm fully fucking immersed in the system. I came up in this system. It was normal to me. Now I understand things well enough that I see it as horrible and horrific and a literal hell. But I'm still a product of this system. Period. Whether I want to admit it or not. And I think most of us are. Sadly, it's just sad.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. And it seems like there's this narrative out there, especially with like the crypto type people, but even in the conspiracy circles too, that they're in the going forward in the future, there's going to be like two realities, like the centralized government reality and everything like that, and then this decentralized thing that's going to be somehow like off the grid or something. And I don't see how that would ever. I don't see how like a system would allow there to be this like break off civilization within the system. It doesn't make sense to me. Like theoretically,
Yeah.
I get what they're
Yeah.
saying, but in reality, I don't see that shit.
Well, in the movies, it's always like the mole people. They have to like live underground.
Yeah.
Like, but literally, not metaphorically. But it's also metaphorical. But yeah, they're like in the movies. Oh, are we bringing up movies? Oops.
Fucking
But you know
shills.
what I'm.
No, I know what you
Oh
mean.
man, that was hilarious. That list of those movies you made.
Yeah, that's funny.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see that. It's hard for me to believe that people are just going to be allowed to just freely, mix about physically, but still be, apart from what's going on. And then I know you've talked about like the Ready Player One stuff before, like, or somebody has, this idea that, it's all going to VR.
Yeah, it is. It went overnight pretty much with COVID to now all of a sudden you
Yeah,
can go to work on
work from
Zoom.
home,
Yeah,
work from home. Meanwhile, I've not heard of one truck driver getting sick from COVID.
that's funny.
Not one. I don't think, because as unhealthy as truck drivers look, they have to pass a DOT physical or they can't work. Have to.
What is the physical? Is it a drug test too? Or no?
That's part of it, but I have to actually go see a doctor, and a doctor has to examine me, and then the doctor decides how long do I get my medical certificate for. And since I'm healthy, I get it for the maximum, which is 2 years. I can't have high blood pressure. I can't be on most medications. Um, Even a common like prescription medication, I would literally have to go see a doctor who would have to approve it. And they might say no, like, no, you can't work as a truck driver and be on that medication. No psych meds, no antidepressants. None of that's allowed at all.
What do you know
Can't
about
be
what do you
on.
know about like Swift truck drivers? At least here where I'm at, it's like all Somalians.
Yeah, well, I know Minneapolis has a big Somali population,
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a lot of Somali truck drivers. And if I just randomly talk to another driver at a truck stop, half the time they don't speak English. It's
really.
50-50. Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. It's 50-50. Now, some of them probably just don't want to. Maybe they understand English and they just don't want to talk to me, so it's
Yeah.
easier just pretend like they don't speak English. But yeah, I mean, like it's not. They're not native English speakers. I'd say it's at least half. And I'm not. I don't understand what I am as a truck driver. Like, literal immigrants who don't speak the language come here and do my job. So I'm not doing anything, earth shattering or complicated, really.
What's up with that gasoline crisis? Is that over? I haven't been keeping up
It's
on it.
panic. That was all panic buying.
It was just all
That was
bullshit,
there.
right?
There is no gas. There's no gas shortage.
Yeah.
No. Uh, it's because everybody who drives around smoking a blunt with their tank on E, every single one of them went and filled up at the same time.
Yeah, that shit sounded
So,
dumb. But that hysteria is over at least. So what's the next one?
oh, I don't even
lot of
know. But
supply
see,
chain shit.
yeah, as a truck driver, it didn't affect me at all, And I knew. I said, well, I guarantee you, I'm going to be able to put diesel in this truck. I knew that. The only time I haven't been able to get diesel in the truck was like if a hurricane or something came through. That's the only time I ever went to a truck stop and you couldn't get diesel.
How
But
do you think these people
yeah,
fall for this shit then? Like, when Biden says we're gonna just eliminate all emissions and shit like that by X date. How do you think these people even think some shit like that is even possible? They're just that dumb or what?
I don't know.
Or
That's
they're that out of touch with reality? It's not about being dumb, I guess. It's just
well, and I know you're getting more into the psychology here recently, and I think it does come back to the Yuri Bezmenov, true information no longer matters, and they seem to just believe whatever their TV tells them. But before I was a truck driver, I would have eventually, if somebody was like, "Yeah, we're going zero emissions," I don't think trucks would have been the first thing I thought about, but I think I would have realized it at some point. I would have just been like, "Oh, well, wait a minute. Everything I buy at the store, 70% of everything comes on a diesel truck that has 200 gallons of diesel. Most of these trucks hold 200 gallons. So it's literally impossible to eliminate emissions. It cannot be done in the short term.
yeah,
Impossible.
but they just believe it, man. I don't know. We're dealing with a whole different class of people, I guess, mentally.
Well, but then like 1984, like if they just tell us that there's no emissions, will people just believe that there's no, or like
Absolutely.
idiocracy,
People
like,
would believe it.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever the
Meanwhile,
TV
like,
says.
yeah, yeah. So like as they drive past the truck stop and there's 12 trucks filling up with diesel and there's uh 2 trucks waiting in line for each diesel pump, because it's like that sometimes. I'm used to waiting in line for fuel. Uh, so they'll drive past and see that and believe that there's no emissions.
Yeah. What does that call? What do they call that in the Bible? The strong delusion or some shit like that?
Oh, I don't know, man. I hate to say it. My faith is not strong like it was, man. I hate to admit it, but I got to tell people the truth. So I don't know, man. I hadn't been reading my Bible and I hadn't been praying like I normally do, and
You got to get
it's not
back
good,
on it.
man.
You got to get back on it, man. You just feel hopeless or what?
That's a good question. I don't feel hopeless that way. I feel I don't have any hope of what I deal with improving, but then I kind of feel like a baby because it's like I'm a grown adult. I should be able to handle these situations a little better, but it's like it doesn't really matter if I handle things properly like 9 out of 10 times. It's like that 1 out of 10 where I lose my shit, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what makes me have a certain emotional feeling, is that it's no matter how good I do, I'm just going to get pushed farther and far. That it's obvious to me that, you know, if I do overcome like what's happening now, I'm just going to get pushed to the point of being triggered by something else, and it's never going to. But I don't think it's a reasonable. I've studied Buddhism. You can't believe how much stuff I've read about religion and spirituality. I mean, I'm very well read on these topics. And I just don't think detachment and acceptance is the answer. I don't personally believe that. I think that's just uh, it's repressing what's actually happening. That's my view. I'm not supposed to be okay with evil, right? I'm supposed to hate evil. So
And you're
I hate
supposed
all
to
this stuff.
take action.
Well, but that's the thing is, what action can I take?
Yeah, as one
What can I
person, you really
do?
can't.
Anything I do, it's just going to make it worse. There's nothing I can't. There's nothing I can do except, uh, go back to being homeless and just wander. But that's not a solution either. You see, it's like, what is? There is no answer. There's no answer. So I think that's where I'm at. Is just I'm just going to be shat upon, and here and there I'm going to you know get my panties in a wad over it and give somebody an earful, but in the long run I'm just going to continue to be shat upon. That's that's what's going to happen. And you know I can't end my life. That's not an option. So this must continue. That's literally where I'm at, brother. So what now? What now?
I don't know, man.
So again, don't cry for me. Don't I got a good life. That's what's crazy. I have a good life. There's people that have it far worse than me. Um, I don't even want to sound like I'm complaining. It's just I can't ignore the reality of what's happening. I don't think it makes me a doomer to realize that I'm being shat upon, and I'm most likely going to continue to be shat upon, and just until one day. And all my people live to 85 and 90, by the way. So I guess at some point, unless they just get rid of me, then my natural life will be over. I mean, what else is there?
You're bringing me down, man.
I'm sorry, man. I apologize to everybody.
No, no, it's
I
just
wish it wasn't
it's
this
real.
way.
It's some real shit,
Yeah,
though.
it's so. At least when I was in my tent in the woods, I wasn't bringing nobody down. See, it's spreading because these people are evil. I spread it to the lady I bitched out who had nothing to do with it. Now I'm spreading it to you. I'm spreading it to whoever's listening to this. See, that's what I'm the problem. It's me. It's I am the problem.
Mm.
It's my fault. Yeah.
There's nothing we can
So,
do,
but I don't
man.
know
You're
how to solve
fucked.
it.
Yeah,
I don't know how to solve it. Yeah.
there's
How do
no
I?
solution.
Yeah. So again, will not kill myself. So other than that, what is there? But when I'm left alone, I like my job. I like what I do. I like, reading books, all of these things, man. Like I have a good time, 95% of the time. I just have a very low tolerance for what's being done to, but it's not just me. It's being done to all of us. I just have a low tolerance. I don't know.
What about community living?
Oh man, we've been through all of that. Yeah, nope.
You think it's a pipe
Yeah, it'd be
dream?
great.
Pipe dream?
Man, I've been around people that live communally. I haven't done it myself as far as a lifestyle, but I've experienced it more than most people have, for sure. And it all comes down to, can you get along with someone that you absolutely despise? Because I don't care what size the community is, there's going to be people that you can't fucking stand, and there's going to be people that can't stand you. Can you get over it and realize that they are equal to you? Everybody has an equal vote. It's not, it's unless everybody has an equal vote and every decision is made unanimously, it's a cult, period. So, do you, can you be around 20 people and we can't get nothing done until everybody agrees? Which means that person that annoys the fuck out of you is at some point going to get to talk for 45 minutes, and you're just going to have to fucking deal with it. I don't think people can handle it psychologically. I don't. I've been in those situations. It's not fun, but it can't be done no other way unless you're going to have a cult leader who just makes all the decisions. which is that when I talk to so-called truthers, that's what they seem to think is like, oh well, the little people are going to do the grunt work, and I'm going to be a manager.
Yeah, fuck that.
Well, that doesn't even make sense because it's like, I'll dig a ditch, I'll do physical work and dig a ditch or whatever. But then if somebody thinks they're going to be in a leadership position, but they're not going to
They're
get
gonna be
down in the muck,
chilling. Yeah, they think they're just gonna sit there
no,
and chill. That ain't gonna happen.
but I'll just take over. Now I'm the cult leader. You see what I'm? It's like,
Right.
but I don't think people understand these dynamics. I think when I've talked to truthers, I think they really think, oh well, I'm educated and I'm book smart, so I'll get to sit in an office somewhere. It's like, no, have you been to a commune? It's like somebody's backyard with huts and there's a farm and there's no modern conveniences like we're used to. Like there are modern conveniences, but it's not the way we grew up. It's not, oh, you're in your bedroom as a kid,
Yeah.
but you have everything you need, but you don't have to go to a job and you don't have to eat shit. Like that's a fantasy. That doesn't exist, man.
Yeah, well, we're fucked, bro.
Well, so again, see, now I've brought you down. You didn't think I could do it, but I've brought you down even further. Oh man, yeah. I don't know. I mean, am I even going to be able to keep doing this job? It took me 4 months of not working to where I could even go back to work, and I think I'm about a month in, and this is where I'm at. Just like now, I look like a crazy person to my company. I'm very careful about how I manage people's how they see me, on the job.
Yeah.
Well, now they know I'm just a fucking hothead like all the other truck
You're a
drivers.
fucking loose cannon.
I'm a loose cannon.
That's why we're on D
yeah.
Live and not YouTube, because you're a loose cannon.
Oh, I don't. Yeah. Oh, you already know, brother.
Hey
yeah,
man,
you already know.
It's okay as long as you know you're a loose cannon.
But so it's like, but as much as I try to do, as much as I try to go along with the fucking herd, and it's never going to happen. It can't be done. So,
so bottom line, we're fucked.
I don't know. I can't even say we're fucked. I think I'm fucked. I think that y'all might be all right. I can't speak for y'all. It's not going to work out for me, I don't think. Perhaps it will for the rest of y'all. And when you were talking about earlier, I won't be able to, Amazon won't deliver to me and I won't be able to buy food. I mean, at that point, great. I can just fucking starve to death. Now I don't even have to worry about it. It's not suicide at that point. Great. Wonderful.
Just go
part of the
south.
problem is that
I was gonna say go south to the coconut trees and you can just live off coconuts.
Oh yeah, that's what we need. Yeah, I'm the color. I'm literally the color of a piece of paper, and I'm gonna go live on the equator.
Yeah,
that's a great idea, Drew. the sunscreen alone will kill me.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Well, I'm sure you're ready to wrap it up. So I'm
gonna go eat some lunch. I'm pretty hungry. But yeah, thanks for coming on. I'll see if I can piece some of this out to YouTube or something later, maybe once I get back inside.
Yeah, man, that's cool. And thanks for letting me vent. Every once in a while, I gotta get it off my chest.
Yeah, no problem. All right, man. Everybody that's been nightmaredystopia.com, go check them out, and I'll be back later. Peace out.